Hello, I'm Esther King, a PhD candidate in the School of Design at Carnegie Mellon University. I'm presenting stories from the Frontline, Recuperating Essential Worker Accounts of AI Integration, written with co-author Dr. Sarah Fox. In this paper, we critically examine the current framing of innovative work within technological systems by actively recuperating janitorial staff accounts on the implementation process of AI-powered technology at an international airport in the US amid the COVID-19 pandemic. We incorporate participatory practices to intentionally bridge a widening divide between administrative decisions and janitorial staff's lived experiences, as witnessed from our fieldwork. Administrators' misperception contributed to organizational protocols that deprioritized janitorial staff and reinforced asymmetrical power relations between administrator and worker. To subvert this process, our participatory practices centered the day-to-day realities of janitorial staff's work conceptually and methodologically, and framed socio-technical processes as politically situated. Now, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the airport was tasked with quickly addressing the heightened cleaning protocols due to the global public health crisis. In an effort to address this need, the airport forged a partnership with a local robotics company who provided them with 4 autonomous floor cleaning robots, outfitted with ultraviolet or UV light technology at no cost. These robots were deployed as a chemical-free means of disinfecting its over 500,000 square feet. In exchange, the local robotics company leveraged the expansive and diverse terrain of the airport as a testing site in order to push early versions of their software or introduce hardware add-ons for refinement before wide release to the market. Through this arrangement, the airport became one of the first in the field of cargo and airplane travel to apply UV technology in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, sustaining the airport CEO's long-term aim to become the smartest airport in the world. Though a powerful tool, the UV robots were not able to act on their own, requiring careful calibration and coordination on the part of janitorial staff. The accumulation of unaccounted labor doubled or tripled to make up for the work left undone by missing colleagues due to massive layoffs, and brought on by the introduction of the robots. Feminist scholar Susan Lee Starr and Lucy Sushman deem this type of work invisible labor. Sushman in particular argues that the limits or parameters that currently structure working relations are not discrete phases in some system life cycle, but complex, densely structured courses of work without clearly distinguishable boundaries between, realized through institutionalized arrangements and practices of configuration, redesign, and maintenance. To bring the daily invisible labor of janitorial staff and their position in the complex, densely structured courses of work to the fore, our research asked, how is frontline work reshaped by the rapid deployment of AI amid the COVID-19 pandemic? And how might worker-centered inquiry inform an organization's protocols and policies around technological deployment? In an attempt to address these questions, our team conducted research over the course of 20 months. This included ethnographic observations, qualitative interviews, shadow staff for 2 to 4 hour intervals, which we refer to as ride-alongs, and 2 participatory engagements with 16 janitorial staff members. We intentionally paired the participatory workshops and ride-alongs to provide breadth and depth to janitorial staff's socio-material realities in varied circumstances and demands. Our approach to participatory design in particular confronted its ritualistic tendencies in how it is applied by making room for adaptability, reframing, and customization. This consisted of 2 days of individual and small group conversations with the use of visual prompts during the 30-minute window prior to the start of their shift. The visual prompts drew from scenes that were thematic from our ethnographic observations and used to spark conversation. Here's an example of one of the visual prompts, a comic strip intentionally illustrated with simple line drawings. It depicts the cyclical nature of a staff member attempting to troubleshoot a robot's malfunction while preserving the UV technology. Here, the staff member alters the robot's hardware, such as deinstalling the scrubbers and emptying the water tank, so that the robot is able to travel through the airport's complicated terrain. The half-day ride-alongs with janitorial staff provided our team with the opportunity to conduct deeper contextual inquiry. The ride-alongs entailed following staff as they loaded their carts, conducted routine check-ins, and maintained the floor cleaning robots, in addition to other day-to-day aspects of their work. By centering janitorial staff's firsthand accounts, we positioned them as central sources to steward the deployment process. Here, we contrast administrative decisions made for the implementation process with the insights of janitorial staff to underscore staff's level of expertise on systems design. In our qualitative interviews, airport administrators noted that staff's initial anxiety on job security may be normal apprehension about new technology, yet was confident it would quickly pass. They felt as though the airport's approach to the technology rollout adequately took this fear into account. However, through our participatory workshops, we found that anxiety surrounding an inevitable loss of their work due to technology was a reoccurring theme across all of our conversations. To eliminate this as a concern and advocacy for workers, one janitorial staff member pointed to a nearby chair and said, "A human would see the stain on the chair and be able to address it immediately. I can't say the same for the robot," underscoring the unique and inimitable qualities human workers bring to the workplace. In another case, we found that the local robotics company assigned a technician to the airport for the purposes of supporting janitorial staff with the repair and maintenance of the UV technology. However, according to janitorial staff, communication with the technician was largely absent. Software updates and repairs to the robots would be made without providing the staff with a follow-up. According to janitorial staff, one of the consequences of this lack of communication was the team's limited foresight to take into account changes made by the technician. Due to the unpredictability of the robots and inconsistency of the technician's performance, janitorial staff expressed their growing concern with the risks the technology poses to the general public and airport staff, and the need for proper training for both managers and the janitorial team. The underlying wish was evident in this case. Clear communication lines to know what the anticipated route and behavior changes of the robots might be in order to be prepared and avoid potential casualties. Through the recuperation of worker stories, we highlight the importance of holding, as Sarah Ahmed calls it, a feminist ear, or staying open to hearing the frustrations of those who bear the burden of deploying and maintaining innovative technologies that often emerge from design and academic institutions. Through the reconfiguration of how and whose stories are told within complex organizations, our research brings to the fore the pivotal role essential staff play in implementing technological systems and argues that their work is innovative rather than supplementary. We underscore the importance of continually reflecting on the hidden aspects of our technological systems and returning to the question that foregrounds an understanding that socio-technical processes are politically situated, which is whose stories underpin our administrative and design decisions. We recommend repositioning workers as central figures to conducting ethical AI for the purposes of having a rollout process that is dignified and respectful, extending beyond efficiency objectives, and actively design conditions that decenter designers and engineers, and rather hold a feminist ear and elevate the workers' expertise. Thank you.